cutting the perfect mat with the Logan Artist Elite mat cutter. It is a super slick tool that makes it really easy to cut the perfect mat. Now don't let all these tools here overwhelm you. The process is straightforward and I'd say it's pretty intuitive, but I'm going to take you through them step by step. And if you need to purchase any of these materials, they are all listed down in the description. So let's get to it. Okay, so when cutting mats, inevitably there's going to be some math involved. So let's take care of that right away. So here's our project. This is the print we are going to cut a mat for and frame here. The frame is 20 by 27, and here's our mat, which is 20 by 30, okay? So I'm just going to note it right here. The frame is 20 horizontal and 27 vertical, okay? So that means with our mat at 20 by 30, of course, we need to take off 3 inches. Very straightforward, okay? So we get our Carpenter Square, and we'll just mark off 3 inches on both sides. And now we'll connect those lines. Okay, so there's step 1. We will cut off that section. So our mat will now fit into our frame. Now, of course, we need to figure out the size of the hole we're going to cut into the mat. So for that, of course, we need to measure our print. And when you're doing all this stuff, just before you start, make sure you clean off all your surfaces. There'd be nothing worse than doing all this and then you flip something over or you cut a mat and there's some sticky stuff, or maybe you have something smudges, you know, a white mat, you have something dirty it up. Just make sure you clean off all your surfaces so you can work and not have to be concerned with any of that. Okay, so let's figure out the size of our hole here. Now I like to put a 1-inch white border around my artwork or whatever I'm matting, because that way I can use that as my overlap for the mat. If I didn't have the 1-inch white border here, you'd have to overlap some of the artwork that's on display. And you can reduce this to 1/2 inch or whatever you want it to be. It just gives it a little bit of leeway and you don't have to cover up some of the work. And the other thing is it does create sort of a double mat look if you like that. And also we can frame it up for the signature down here. If you want to know more about how I make my prints, I have a video, I'll link it down in the description. And I can tell you more about that process. But let's get to how big we want our mat to be. So the artwork here is 13 inches. With the 1-inch border on each side, it's 15 inches. But like I said, that's my overlap. So I'm going to add a 1/2 inch on each side for a total of 14 inches in width. So if my artwork is 14 in width, right? Then it's just simple subtraction. So with the full width being 20 inches, we subtract 14 inches, which is the hole we're cutting, and that leaves 6 inches. Then divide that by 2 so we can have 3 equal inches of mat on both sides. Now vertically, the artwork is 18, and with the 1-inch border, it is 20. And here again, to get the signature in, again I need to leave about a 1/2 inch. So we're going to go 19 inches for artwork going vertically. Artwork will take up 19 of the 27 inches, which is my frame. So just simple subtraction, leaving 8 inches. So a 4-inch mat on the top and bottom. Okay, so it's going to be 3 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. So that is really the hardest part, is just sort of mathing it all out. Okay, before we cut our mat down and cut in our beveled mat, we need to load the blades into our straight cutter and our bevel mat cutter. The Elite comes with blades for everything and a few backup blades. So on the straight cutter, holding down this pin on the back, I'm going to unscrew the front, take off this plate, and then you take your blade and you just line it up. Take the plate, line it up with the notch, and then screw it back on. And there you go, the blade is loaded. And right now, I have it locked into the safe setting, but there's also a standard mat board and a 3/16 inch foam board. And to adjust it, you just loosen the little nut and pick your setting you want to go to. And whenever you set it, you just tighten it again. And now it'll cut a standard mat board. We'll put it back into safe for now. So that one's ready to go. Now let's load up our bevel mat cutter. Loosen this pin. And you'll see that releases this part. And then you loosen this pin, which this is what actually holds the blade in place. And then take your blade, and with the blade facing down towards the hole right here, this is a little hole where it's going to cut through. Just place your blade in carefully. Tighten this nut again, which tightens down the blade. Push it down a little bit. Make sure not to push it all the way through the hole. You just want to be able to tighten this nut again. And there you go. And you can see this is where the blade cuts through, right? So be careful because it's going to poke through if you push down. So be careful of that. Now on the bevel cutter, the way you adjust the depth of the blade is there's a screw underneath, and you take your screwdriver and going counterclockwise extends it out, and going clockwise shortens it. So adjust it as needed and then give it a look, because you want your mat cutter blade to just barely go through your mat, so it'll just barely go into the slip sheet, which will be underneath your mat board when we cut. Now let's go to the mat cutter. All right, so now the real fun begins. So first thing we need to do is cut off this piece that will not fit into our frame. So lift the guide rail, and we're going to take off this mat guide first. Set that aside. Now take your mat, put it up against the squaring bar here, and line it up with where we're going to make the cut. And make sure it's flush here. Put the guide rail down. Give it an extra double check to make sure you're flush against the squaring bar. Here's what's slick with your straight cutter and with the bevel cutter. The guide rail is locked in here, so you're going to get a perfectly straight cut. Looks like everything's in line, right on my line. So of course you want to take it off safe. Move it down to standard mat. Lock it in, again, this little channel, this little guide. And then we're going to push down and back towards us, right? Okay, so there is our mat trimmed down. Put this back to safe. Put that aside. Now let's put our mat guide back on. And as mentioned, we got to do 3 inches on each side, 4 inches on the top, right? So we're going to set our mat guide to 3 inches. And then we twist these righty-tighty, tighten them down good. Mat up against the squaring bar and against the mat guide. Put down the guide rail. Give it a little extra push to make sure it's all square. And we mark it off. Now, do it on the opposite side. Again, make sure your table is all clean. Make sure everything is clean so you don't dirty any of this up. Make sure your hands are clean. You could even wear gloves if you want to be super pristine. You don't want to get the oils from your hands. Now on the top and the bottom, we're going 4 inches, right? So we got to adjust this to 4 and then tighten our mat guide back down. Square it up against here and our squaring bar. Push it down. Draw a line. Both sides. So the beginning steps of doing all the math is more challenging. Once you get to here, it's quite simple, really. All right, now let's get to cutting out the mat with our bevel cutter. Now, the trick to the bevel cutter is this line here shows you where the blade is cutting. So that's where, if you want to start cutting or stop cutting, you want to be on that line. So we have this set to 4 inches. So let's put our slip sheet in there. When you use the straight cutter, you don't need the slip sheet. When you use the bevel cutter, you want to use the slip sheet. So we're going to start with these 4-inch sides since it's already set up for that, right? Now, if you want a little extra protection, you can use these production stops. And these just slide right in like this. The bevel cutter, it's not engaged, it lines up. See where the line lines up? So if I want to give myself a little extra protection, I can put in the production stop here, and that way it's going to force me to stop cutting. Now, if you want extra protection all around, you could do that on both sides if you want extra protection all around. Again, the line's right there. So you could do it that way, and you can see you're locked in. Now, again, on mine, I'd have to adjust it for these other sides because it's 3 inches instead of 4 inches. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I'm not going to use the production stops on mine. What I'm going to do is just pay close attention to the lines. Okay, so here is the hole we're punching out, right? Here are our guidelines for our mat. We got the slip sheet underneath here. And we're still on the 4-inch, so we can cut these 2 sides first. Make sure we're square here on our squaring bar and against our mat guide. Lock in our bevel cutter on the line, on the rail guide. This mat cutter makes it super easy. The other thing is they have this little button here that prevents the bevel from crawling when you engage the blade. It's super slick. You push down and the little pin comes out, which locks it in place so the bevel won't slip when you engage the blade. Push the button down on the line, engage the blade, let go of the button. Okay? And then, easy peasy, come down on our mat until our line is there, and then we come out. Now we do the other 4-inch side. Same deal all around. Line it up, push down the anti-crawl button, engage the blade, let go of the button. Line it up, let go, and out. Okay, now on our other side, we got to reset our mat guide to the 3 inches. So we'll loosen our mat guide, slide it down to 3 inches, tighten it up again, get our slip sheet in there, put our mat back in, make sure we're square on the squaring bar, put down our guide rail, and now it's just the same thing with our mat cutter, of course. Line it up, push down the anti-crawl, engage the blade, let go of the button. There we go. Flip it over to the last side. You can see it's already coming out here. We don't got to adjust anything besides getting it square. Lock it in, push the button, engage the blade, let go of the button. And there we go. And it punches right out. And there is our nice beveled mat. You can see it's got that nice bevel on it all the way around. Super clean. Now, final step. Let's put our artwork into the mat. All right, so let's bring the artwork back. We're going to flip our mat back over. This is the back side here, okay? And we'll just rough this in for the moment. It's going to be something like that, right? To mount our print to the mat board, we're going to use this linen hinging tape, which is again linked down in the description to purchase if you so desire. So this linen hinging tape has a backing on it. I'm going to cut 2 strips to attach it to our mat like so. And then once we have it lined up, I'm going to do 2 more strips as we go. Let's get our mat out of the way here for a second. First, let's attach our strips to our artwork here. We're just removing the backing. Now, I'm going to just rest the Carpenter Square on here. Now take our mat, and on the bottom here I'm framing it up more so based on the signature, but on the sides, remember I got a 1/2 inch to play with on both sides. Line it up. Take some time on this. Before you really seal that tape, you want to make sure you get it lined up perfectly. Okay. Lift that out ever so gently. That looks good. Signature has some breathing room down there. Now, flip this over. Cut off 2 more strips of the hinging tape. Take off the backing, and you're going to cross the T on that to hold it in. Now push it down. Push it down to seal it. You're going to do the same thing on the other one. Cross the T. Now those are sealed, and it's time for the real fun part. Now that we have everything matted and ready to go, we have our frame. Put it down in there. Then put the backing on, and then we close it up. I'll put this frame down in the description as well. These are my favorite frames to use when I'm framing stuff myself. It's an Amazon Home Foria. But there we go. There is a nicely matted signature framed up. And the reason you don't want to use the hinging tape all the way around is because as the seasons change and humidity goes up and down, the humidity affects the mat and the paper differently. So if you've ever seen a piece of art where maybe it's bubbling up, that's because it's taped all the way around and the paper can adjust to the humidity freely, or the mat. So you only want to tape it at the top, so the paper and mat can expand and contract individually. And this way you're not going to get any of that bubbling effect. And there you go. There is a nicely cut mat using the Logan Artist Elite. All links down in the description if you're interested in purchasing one. Highly recommend it. Makes it super easy. Practice a little bit, you'll be cutting your own mats in no time.